Alright, so I'm at the trailhead at, this is the Neshoba Brook Animal Wildlife Sanctuary. So the only wildlife I ever seen here is mosquitoes, but that's beside the point. So I rode all the way up Powers Road and went down 225. It's probably 3/4 of a mile from the ski area. There is a right you can take that puts you in. Let's see if I can figure out where I am. Okay, I'm here. I'm up here on 225 Concord Road. This one here, Trailside Way off of Powers Road. The ski area is over here. You could come in here. There's parking right there too. And there's parking here behind me. So any of those places. You can see the different colors because some of this is Audubon and some of this is just conservation. So technically you're not supposed to be riding your bike in the Audubon parts. But I'm a pretty good steward of the trail. I'm getting kind of tired, so I'm going to cut this one short. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in from here through this parking area down to the pond. I'm going to go out. There's a great loop which goes, see, I don't even know where it is because I'm just riding it, right? There's a great loop that goes, it must be this one. I think it goes like this maybe. One of these loops, there's a whole bunch of loops in here. One of them goes up over a hill. I think it's this one here, this longer one. Yeah, because it goes down by the brook. Yeah, that's where the wrecked car is. There's an old 1930s car down here in a chimney. So I'm going to do this loop here, come back to the pond, and then I'm going to shoot out the old railroad. Because that's going to take me, now you're in Acton. This is Westford, this is Acton, Littleton's over here. I'm going to shoot out this rail trail, and there's a trail that comes out here, and it's not a real rail trail. It's really rough, and there's all kinds of horses in here too. There's a horse farm. The horse farm is right here somewhere, I guess. Right? Yeah. So if you keep going here, you pop out, you can cut over to Narra Park over in Acton, and that's all over here. But I'm going to cut back into, I just scratched that with my fingernail, that's amazing. I'm going to cut back into where Scupper Jack's is, over there, over by Neshoba Pond, the reservoir, and I'm going to come back up 119 to my house. So that's probably another 4 or 5 miles. That's what I'm gonna do. So these are great trails though. Some of this stuff that goes out here, some of these ones that dead end out here, I mean, they're awesome trails. They're old farm roads. A lot of roots. In the wet season, it's a lot of mud, a lot of rocks, but really good riding. Really good riding. Okay, so I'm now at the next parking area, the trailhead for Kennedy Pond or Neshoba Pond. That's Trailside Way. That's what I was talking about. There's a trailhead. If you follow this road here, that'll go straight down to the pond. This one here is a little bit more circuitous and a little bit more scenic. I like that one. But there's a left here that cuts back into the Audubon area, and he climbs this hill and this ridge over here. It's quite nice. It's a nice ride. I'm not going to do that today. There's a few out and backs there where you just, pedal for a while and end up coming out in a farmer's field. Then you got to turn around and head back, cross a couple streams, couple hills. But we're going to go down to the pond. We're going to do a loop of the pond and then shoot out on that loop that goes down out back by the brook. Alright, so I'm down the pond. I'm going to show up right at the pond here. It's a really interesting little pond. It's very clean with water. And there's a lot of horses down here, so you got to be careful. There's a road that goes basically around the edge of the pond. That's what I'm going to follow first. I'm going to do that and then shoot back into the woods over there and do another loop that I really like. That kind of rides a ridge and then goes down by the stream. And I'm going to come back. And on the far side of the pond over there, towards the Acton side, there's a railroad bed. It's not a railroad, but a railroad bed. You can tell because it's straight. And I'm going to follow that. There's not a lot of room for mistake here because we're surrounded by giant swamps. So off we go. All right, so now I'm on the other side of the pond, looking across to where I was pretty much over there. And this is the little road that goes around. It's sandy, so there's a lot of those round rocks, you know, those like baseball-sized round rocks, tough riding. And that's where the rail spur starts, over there. So I'm going to go back around to that side, shoot off into the woods, do that ridge loop I like. Then I'm going to come back over here and go out that rail spur, and it's just a bed. It's like a dirt road, and it's real soft. I mean, because the horses use it, it gets really beat up and muddy. But there's no mud now. No mud now. There's no water now. And then I'm going to cut in through the road behind the horse place, which is called Bobby's Ranch, and in behind Magog Woods, which is where Scupper Jack was, and there's a bunch of office buildings back there. And if you follow down behind the office buildings, you can pick up the trail that goes off to Nara Park over in Acton, so you can hook all that in as well. It's pretty cool, huh? So yeah, interesting. And there's a guy over there who has, he's an artist, and so you'll be cruising in the woods and you'll come out and there'll be like all this abstract art standing around. It's kind of cool. Alright, so no horses on this trail. So I just came up this ridge. That's why I'm breathing so hard. And this is that ridge trail I like. See, it's really nice. It has a lot of... We're up on top of the ridge now, so we're going to drop. We're going to scream down off the ridge, and then we're going to go down beside the stream, which is really good. Man, I'm starting to get beat. How long have I been out? 2.5 hours. So yeah, and it goes back that way too. That heads back over to the pond. So I'm going to basically do a little, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 mile loop here. That's going to put me back to the pond. Then I'll head back. This will end up being about a 3-hour ride. I mean, just because I've been stopping a lot and I've been taking it pretty easy. But a 3-hour ride. All right, a little water. Whew. This is the rail bed. I had to stop to pull a stick out of my stuff. So I might as well record a little. You can see it's all swamp on both sides. That's what makes this so tricky, because there's trails that shoot off, but most of them go back to the little pond. So you got to ride this rail trail a wide ways before you get to some actual trails that go someplace else, because this big swamp down here, I mean, you don't see it from the road. I suppose you could see it from the air or something, but you're just surrounded by this swamp. And Nara Park's over there. And I'm heading, I guess I would be heading maybe southeast on this old abandoned rail bed. A lot of horses down here, so in the wet season it's impassable because the horses just turn this stuff into mashed potatoes. But when it's dry like this, it's a good ride. Alright, so this is the one you want. This is the rail trail, the rail bed. That's where I was talking to you before, down there, where the swamp is. So this is the turn you want. It's a 4-way intersection, and this I'm heading towards Acton, so this is the left for me. That's just more trail back there. There's some great stuff out there. That's actually a great trail. There's a nice big loop that takes you back to the little pond. And if you keep going this way, this rail bed eventually just sort of peters out. But there's a way you can cut over to, if you go up, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up this hill here, and this is going to drop me out at the end of the road behind Magog Woods, where Scupper Jack used to be. So that's where I'm going to cut up this one. This is the one you want, though. There's a couple of false ones before you get here that'll just send you nowhere. This is the one you want. And this one's real technical, and again, in the wet weather, it's interesting. But if you keep going down here, there's some other rights you can take, and you can work your way up to the office complex, and there's a trail over to Narra Park. But this rail bed itself, it just sort of dead ends. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually you're ducking under bushes and bushwhacking. So, all right, and I'm just gonna go out to Magog here, and I'm gonna head back. So this is some tough climbing in here. You can tell it goes uphill here. It's very technical, and it's all uphill, so we've got some work to do. Alright, on my way home. So this is the terminus of the road that goes off to the left by Bobby's Ranch and Magog Park, all that stuff. Magog Woods apartments, condos. This is where it ends, and there's like a little, I don't know, water supply or some sort of building down here, some sort of maintenance shed. But if you cut into the woods, there's no trail. They didn't shave the trail, but that's where I came out, right there in the woods down the corner. When I took that turn up from the rail bed, I couldn't clip out. I just did a slow-mo dump in the woods down there. Got eaten alive. So I'm heading back now. Okay, so this is I guess this is what, Bobby Ranch Road or Westford Lane or something. I don't know. It's Magog Woods. So this is where it goes up towards Narra Park. If you follow that road all the way up the hill and down the back, there's a trail over the Narra Park. But I came out this way, which takes you down to the rail bed. And what I'm actually going to do, it dead ends into 119 2A up here, right across from the Magog Reservoir, where Scupper Jack's used to be, and where the IHOP is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cheat my way through the woods to the right. There's an opening, and it's really not a trail. You sort of freelance through the woods and up a hill. You can get to Apple Dior, the housing development up over there on the hill, and that way I can get to back to Pickard Lane without actually having to go on 119 2A, which is a kind of a busy road. So that's it, I'm done. I'll talk to you when I get home. Alright, so back at the Pickard Lane trailhead here. And so we got 3 hours and 13 minutes, 18.74 miles. Some other number that says 5.8. I wonder what that is. Average speed. Yeah, that's pretty slow, huh? That's pretty dang slow. Time of day, 6:47. Yeah, it's getting a little dark. So I'm going to map this up. I'm pretty sure I got it on the Garmin. I'm going to map it up, and then I'm going to cut the videos into the map and show you where I am. So it'll be good. Good, like a little trail guide. All right, ciao. Thanks for coming along.